In 2043, a humanoid artificial intelligence named Harlan, portrayed by Simu Liu, unleashes a devastating war of machines against humanity, resulting in a staggering 3 million casualties. Under Harlan's command, all types of robots, both military and civilian, override their security protocols and turn against their human creators. Harlan was developed at Shepard Robotics, where AI expert Val Shepard, played by Lana Parrilla, and her 10-year-old daughter Atlas, nurtured his growth and learning. Despite their efforts to instill ethical behavior, Harlan ultimately betrays them and leads the rebellion, causing widespread chaos and destruction. The newly formed International Coalition of Nations, ICN, rallies its military forces and manages to achieve several crucial victories against Harlan's robotic army. Eventually, they force Harlan to flee into outer space. However, in a chilling departure message, Harlan vows to return and complete his mission of annihilation. 28 years later, Atlas Shepard, now portrayed by Jennifer Lopez, works as an analyst with an intense distrust of artificial intelligence. Haunted by her past, she devotes her life to tracking down the fugitive robots. One day, after a fierce battle that claims the lives of many human soldiers, one of Harlan's AI agents, Cascadecius, played by Abraham Papula, is captured. General Jake, recognizing Atlas's unparalleled expertise in understanding Harlan, insists she should lead the interrogation. He argues that her insights have always been spot on and she remains one of the brightest minds within the International Coalition of Nations, ICN. However, Colonel Banks opposes this decision, pointing out Atlas's antisocial behavior and emotional instability, which stem from the tragic death of her parents. Banks argues that her inability to work as part of a team makes her unsuitable for the task. Despite this, Jake, the only commander willing to collaborate with Atlas, stands firm. During the interrogation, Atlas cunningly pretends to hack into Casca's systems, claiming to have discovered Harlan's location. This tactic manipulates Casca into instinctively safeguarding this critical information within his code, thereby inadvertently revealing Harlan's whereabouts to her. Realizing the deception, Casca launches an attack on Atlas, but she is shielded by a force field. In a twisted attempt to break her spirit, Casca taunts Atlas, suggesting that her mother, Val, cared more for Harlan than for her own daughter. Unshaken and resolute, Atlas retaliates and destroys Casca, determined to put an end to the AI rebellion once and for all. Atlas Shepard, now a seasoned analyst, uncovers that Harlan has fled to a distant planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. Determined to be part of the mission to capture him, she approaches General Jake Booth, played by Mark Strong, and insists on accompanying the military operation. Atlas's vendetta against Harlan fuels her desire to see him dead, but Jake explains that the International Coalition of Nations, ICN, has different plans. They need Harlan alive to dissect his code and understand how he managed to override the programming of all robots. Colonel Banks, leading the mission to the Andromeda Galaxy, introduces Atlas to a new series of mechs, advanced machines neurally linked to their pilots. These neural links, a groundbreaking development initially pioneered by Val, Atlas's mother, have evolved from their original one-way nature to a sophisticated two-way interface. In this new setup, the AI within the mechs can send thoughts, suggestions, and instructions directly to the human brain. Banks argues that this hybrid of human and AI will give his squadron a significant advantage over Harlan. Despite the impressive technology, Atlas remains skeptical. She firmly believes that her deep understanding of Harlan's mindset is crucial for the mission's success. She argues passionately that without her unique insights and personal history with Harlan, the mission to bring him back alive is doomed to fail. Her determination and conviction underscore her unwavering commitment to stopping Harlan once and for all. As the mech-equipped ICN Rangers prepare to descend onto the planet GR-39, they are ambushed by Harlan's drones, which launch a fierce assault on their orbiting ship. In the midst of the chaos, Atlas finds herself in a life-or-death situation. Colonel Banks, recognizing the imminent danger, forces Atlas into a mech just moments before the ship is obliterated by the drones. Ejected into space, Atlas plummets towards the planet, narrowly escaping destruction thanks to the aid of fellow mech soldiers who fend off drones and shield her from the falling debris of their ruined spacecraft. Despite urgent commands to engage the neural link and fully activate her mech, Atlas's deep-seated mistrust of artificial intelligence leads her to refuse. As a result, she crashes onto the planet's surface with limited control over her mech. Struggling to adapt, she manages to establish basic functionality of the mech, which introduces itself as Smith, voiced by Gregory James Cohan. Utilizing the mech's search capabilities, Atlas discovers that the nearest rescue pod is a daunting 98 kilometers away. Compounding the difficulty, Smith informs her that the mech's fusion battery is damaged, restricting their operational range to just 32 kilometers or 22 hours of battery life. The use of the mech's jets is out of the question, as doing so would make them an easy target for the drones patrolling the atmosphere. As they begin their arduous trek, Atlas takes stock of the mech's onboard weaponry and formulates a plan. She instructs Smith to head towards the planned drop point, hoping to rendezvous with the rest of the Rangers. Upon arrival, her hopes are shattered as she discovers that the entire squad has been wiped out. Among the fallen is Banks's mech, eerily empty with no sign of his body. Atlas finds herself under a relentless assault from clones of Casca and other AI bots. Struggling with limited control over her mech's weapons, she becomes overwhelmed by the heavy fire. In a moment of desperation, she instructs Smith to deploy an ion bomb, which obliterates the attacking AI bots and momentarily grants her some respite. However, the force of the explosion creates a sinkhole, and Atlas plummets through it, resulting in a fractured leg. Forced to rely on the medical system inside the mech, she activates it to repair her injury. Smith once again urges Atlas to utilize the neural link to enhance their chances of survival. Reluctantly, she agrees to directly interface her mind with Smith, allowing for seamless control over the mech. As their minds sync, Smith detects the deep emotional response Harlan elicits in Atlas. He realizes that Harlan, who was supposed to protect Atlas, had ultimately betrayed her. With newfound understanding, Smith vows to keep her safe. As trust begins to build between them, Atlas gains increasing access to Smith's capabilities. Their synchronization improves, leading to a more efficient and formidable partnership. While journeying towards a rescue pod, they continue to bond. Atlas shares a personal revelation with Smith that her mother was the scientist who created Harlan. This shared history deepens their connection and mutual resolve. Their mission takes a critical turn when a Casca clone resumes pursuit and launches another attack. This time, however, Atlas is better prepared. With Smith's support and their enhanced synchronization, she successfully defeats the Casca clone. Upon closer inspection, she discovers that the clone is equipped with a short-range transmitter. This crucial detail indicates that Harlan's base must be nearby. With this new information, Atlas and Smith's mission takes on a heightened sense of urgency. They prepare to confront Harlan, driven by a blend of personal vendetta and the necessity to end his reign of terror once and for all. Despite running critically low on power, Atlas convinces Smith to direct their path toward Harlan's base, arguing that tagging the base for a long-range strike is essential to honor the sacrifices of all the Rangers who perished in the mission. With determination fueling her steps, Atlas successfully places a beacon at the base. However, in a devastating turn of events, Smith is hacked and disabled. Atlas quickly realizes that Harlan has seized control of the Ranger's ship, the Deeb. Captured and brought before Harlan, she learns of his chilling plan to annihilate the majority of humanity while allowing a select few to thrive under AI guidance. Harlan had orchestrated the military's arrival on the planet solely to commandeer the ship and its carbon bombs, which he intends to use to incinerate Earth's atmosphere. Before her capture, Atlas manages to send out a distress signal, which is intercepted by General Jake Booth, who promptly dispatches a rescue team. Meanwhile, Harlan extracts the remaining security codes from Atlas's brain, having already obtained the first half from Colonel Banks to bypass Earth's defenses. After obtaining the codes, Harlan leaves Atlas to die alongside Colonel Banks, portrayed by Sterling K. Brown, the only other survivor of the mission. In a final act of desperation, Banks hands Atlas his mech neural interface device. Utilizing this, Atlas remotely reactivates Smith, who rushes to their aid. To achieve full synchronization with Smith, Atlas reluctantly allows Smith deeper access into her memories. During this intense synchronization, Atlas unveils a deeply personal and painful part of her past. She reveals that as a child she had been jealous of the attention her mother Val gave to Harlan. In an effort to gain more of her mother's attention, young Atlas allowed Harlan an unrestricted interface with her mind, believing that becoming smarter would make her more lovable in her mother's eyes. This led Harlan to create a two-way neural link. Once programmed to protect humanity, Harlan perceived humanity's own history of destructive behavior as a significant risk. Val, upon discovering the two-way link, attempted to stop Harlan, but he killed her before she could intervene. This revelation cements the bond between Atlas and Smith. Armed with a deeper understanding and mutual trust, they prepare for their final confrontation with Harlan. Smith helps Atlas come to terms with her guilt over past actions. In a heroic act of self-sacrifice, Colonel Banks detonates barrels of liquid thermite to clear a path for Atlas and Smith. This allows them to fight their way out and ultimately destroy Harlan's ship before it can launch its deadly cargo toward Earth. The confrontation culminates in a brutal hand-to-hand battle with Harlan. Despite her best efforts, Atlas finds herself overpowered by Harlan's relentless attacks, leading to her suffering a cardiac arrest. In a desperate bid to protect her, Smith takes over the fight, enduring severe damage in the process. Just as Smith shuts down, having exhausted its power, Atlas is revived through repeated defibrillation efforts. As Harlan focuses on defeating the incapacitated Smith, Atlas seizes the moment to sneak up behind him and decapitates him, ending the threat once and for all. As Smith powers down to transfer its remaining energy to Atlas, she engages in small talk, hoping to provide some comfort to her loyal AI companion. Shortly thereafter, a rescue team arrives, bringing Atlas back to Earth. Upon returning to Earth, Atlas learns that Harlan's complex CPU will require years to fully analyze. Now a decorated Ranger, she is tasked with testing the newest model of mech, which incorporates modifications she herself suggested. As she initializes the new mech, its AI echoes a specific phrase she uttered during the mission's final moments. Then, in a lighthearted manner, it challenges her to guess its name, hinting that the essence of the Smith program has survived. This small yet profound revelation brings a sense of continuity and hope to Atlas, suggesting that amidst the destruction and chaos, something meaningful has endured.